We are back with another Canadian Premier League preview as the countdown to Season 7 continues to get closer and closer to the opening day triple header, April the 5th, live on One Soccer. Today, we're discussing these gentlemen. I don't know if they're going to wear this kit this year. I hope they do, because it's still one of the great all-time CPL kits. But we're here to talk about Vancouver FC. It is a club that disappointed at the end of the year. They had some momentum. They had the opportunities. They did so well in that third quarter of the year to put themselves in that position for fifth. But alas, they missed the postseason again. This is a team, like a lot of those clubs that miss the playoffs, with a lot of turnover, some questions to answer. And I think they might be the club, Gareth Wheeler, with the most questions heading into 2025. What is the biggest storyline for you when you think of the Eagles this year?
It is the team with the most questions. I knew 2024 was going to be a big year for the Eagles. I just got the wrong sport. It was the Philadelphia Eagles and not Vancouver last year. On paper, like a team that should have been much better than they were in terms of attacking football, second fewest goals scored in the Canadian Premier League last year. That's why there's been a little bit of a reset. And although good young players like Grady McDonald and James Cameron have now moved on, it's time for other young players to step up. Even the departing Rocco Romeo admitted Vancouver right now, it's a rebuild. It's a youth movement that he didn't want to be a part of, but I'm all for it. I think that young players need to play more, but it comes with more of an X factor. It's time for TJ Taheed to really step into like his Canadian Premier League being and become an impact player. There are still good, reliable players in the squad, from Paris G to the acquisition of Kunle Dataluke. The two players up top have a history of scoring, Wero Diaz and Terran Campbell, potentially a bounce back year. So there's some good players on paper. It's just too thin for me to call them a contender and a club that they're going to really have to rely on young talent to take this program forward. So the unknown should come with some excitement, but they're the team that you're looking at. You're just not quite sure what you're going to get as of right now.
When I look at them two wheels, I mean, the hybrid, you've already painted the picture of just the old and then the young, or I guess the experience and the young. But like looking at this team, Irving, who's been in the league, Diaz, who's been a top goal scorer in the league. Like looking at Terran Campbell, I know hasn't been healthy as of late, but still top goal scorer in the league. Like there's enough in this squad, in this nucleus, to go out and compete. But again, the reason why I'll put them at the bottom right now is just because they capitulate. They don't find a way to get over the line when they need to. But it's the start of a new season. It's fresh. They can go and compete, and I hope that they do.
Jordan Wilson, when you think of the offseason transactions that Afshin Gatbi and the group at VFC have made, what is the most important one to you?
I mean, there's a few, but I think one that I think will stick out, and that is, I'm shocked that he went there, but I think will be a huge plus for their side, Kunle Dataluke playing for them. I think down that right side, it's just something different that they didn't have. The experience, a winner, you could say, in this league, a player that's developed. I just think that threat, when you look at a 28-game season and you play teams 4 times, you're going to need someone that can really just be consistent and pull the layers away of the opposition. And that's what Kunle does. So there's a few other names, but for me, I think that was a big acquisition that they've added. I think I'll get along with Gatbi as well and his philosophies of how he wants to play.
Well, yeah, Dataluke, fine, but it's Terran Campbell, like the all-time top scorer in the Canadian Premier League, reuniting with Wero Diaz. When those two played up top for Pacific together, they were absolutely a handful to deal with. So they're trying to recapture a little bit of magic there. And if they can't, like last year, that was the most disappointing thing, is that they didn't fully take advantage of the fact they had Diaz leading the line. And we'll see how long Diaz stays for. But Campbell did score a goal last season. 2 years ago, scored 10 in the Canadian Premier League. So if he can get back on form, they'll possess some kind of threat. But the pressure's on Campbell to get the most out of himself and to be fit and firing from the start of the season.
The Canadian Premier League season begins on April the 5th. However, the eyes of the league will be firmly fixed on Vancouver on April the 6th, Sunday. That's when they open up their campaign. They will host York United. You can catch that match with every match, all 117 of them, if you believe it, right here on One Soccer.